some of the terminology and Oklahoma terminology to make life easier for you. Just how much is they're building their offense around you and your skill set and doing what he did kind of made this transition for you easier?
I think there's some terminology that we have the same, but I don't mean at the end of the day it was going to be my job to learn, what he called his stuff. But I think it also is helpful for him to, kind of adjust it towards me and what we're going to do on this offense. Like you see with the Ravens, helping Lamar out and a lot of other guys that can move around in the league. You kind of got to build it that way if you got a quarterback that can move. So I think it's helpful.
He used that same comparison with Baltimore. Did you see the same? You see the same thing that how they built their offense around Lamar and what they're doing with you here?
Yeah, they got great players, great scheme, great coaches, and obviously I think it's showing right now they're playing well. So yeah, I mean that works for them.
When you play against other NFC West teams like the 49ers, now with the Rams this week, Seahawks, is there any part of you that's kind of getting a sense of who they are, knowing that you're going to be playing them twice a year for so many more years, or do you just see this as another game and you wouldn't see it any different than it would be the Ravens or the Bengals or something?
It was the first time playing the Rams, so I'm not really familiar with them, but I think the 49ers, playing them twice, you kind of have a feel for, like you said, who they are. I mean, I don't want to, I go into every game as if it's, it's a new game, no matter what happened the last game. So, I mean, for me, that's the way I see it. But at the same time, I think as a whole, I feel like our team, at the end of the day, that second game is more so off of, just executing and whoever wants it more. So, first time playing the Rams, obviously they're a good team, in the Super Bowl last year. No matter what happened last game, we got to come to play.
What have you seen on film about Aaron Donald that makes you interested to see what he can do against you, what you can do against him?
I'm not interested. No, he's a special player, obviously. One of the best to ever do it already. So, I'm just excited, for another opportunity to play the game.
You're quiet by nature, and obviously rookies usually know their place too. As the season's gone along, have you been more likely to speak up either to teammates in a team setting? Are you growing in that direction, or do you want to?
I mean, I think when you, it's been a long season so far. I think when you play, well, like I've said many times, I'm not going to come in here and start talking, if I haven't done anything. I still don't think I've done stuff, but, I mean, we've been better and we've played better, and I think, everybody's felt that and seen that. So, yeah, it's just part of it. You grow, everybody gets more comfortable with each other. I think it's just a natural deal.
When you go against an elite defensive player like Donald or somebody like that, are you one of those guys that always likes to be aware of where he is on the field, or does that get you out of your game? You know what I mean? Are you aware of stuff like that?
I mean, it's inevitable. He's on the field. We've played against a lot of other great players. There's going to be great players, and there's great players all over the league, and you got to play against them. You got to beat them if you want to be great. So, I guess, to answer your question, I'm going to be on the field. He's going to be on the field. We're both going to be on the field. So, I just got to execute at the end of the day.
Cliff said he's going to try and use all three running backs in this game, and I'm curious are you to see what you guys can do out of the ball with three different cats.
I don't think it's just necessarily running the ball. In the pass game as well as the run game, and we got three pretty versatile backs. Glad to have Chase back, because I know, he was hurting, but you saw what he did for us, when he started playing. So I'm very confident in all three of those guys.
How did it feel to have a break?
I didn't like it.
Not at all?
No, I didn't like it.
What'd you do? Well, what can you tell us that you did anyways?
I watch football.
Do you feel like that gets you out of a rhythm? Or
I just don't like it.
Are you not going to like it when the season's over, or is it just an in-the-season thing?
I think it's in the season.
So you'll be okay having some downtime when the season's over, right?
Yeah, I'm not really focused on that, though.
When you watched Monday game, I'm assuming you watched that Ravens offense and Lamar. That when you see Lamar do what he does with the arm and the legs, do you try to want to emulate some of that, especially the running that he's doing, or do you not want to do that much of it?
No.
Or what?
No.
Running? if he takes off for 95 yards a game, is that something you want to try to match? I mean, would that be something that's a goal down the road for you? Or not?
Not play within the offense. I mean, it's whatever happens. So no.
So the numbers aren't a big deal.
No, I don't really. No.
Good. I'm just take every opportunity to make the most of it.
What's been this like, not playing as much as you have in the past? Just what's it been like to you to kind of handle a different role these days?
It's obviously been hard. Like you said, back in the past, I was in the majority of the snaps, but it's been rough, and I just gotta move past it, and like I said, make the most of every opportunity, and just have positive yards or have positive plays.
What have the coaches told you? Have they told you you're going to play less, or they want to play you more? What have they told you?
They haven't told me anything. Just whatever. Whenever I get in the game, just be ready.
Is that frustrating not to know that you're going to get certain touches or certain reps in the game?
Obviously. I mean, if you're any football player, they all want to be on the field as much as possible. It's rough, but, it's football, and there's always adversity. It's really just how you handle it.
Have you felt the need to go to Cliff or your position coach or anyone and kind of define things a little bit more just for your mental health?
We've talked. We've talked, and, what we say is just between me and the coaches. And, like I said, every opportunity, you just got to make the most of it.
Dave, was this been like health related, or do you feel pretty close to 100% right now?
I'm pretty close to 100. I feel good.
Dave, was your usage in the San Francisco game particularly puzzling to you? They had said you had your best week of practice, you were 100%, and then you don't get a touch in that game.
Yeah, that was tough. It was rough, but they just said that the way the game was going, they were going to do it that way. So we'll see.
Do you feel like you're a different player than you were 2 or 3 years ago?
No, I don't. Obviously I was dealing with injuries, and that's rough, but it's part of football. Everyone has injuries, especially towards this time of the year, and so it's really how do you play with the injuries.
What do you make of this notion that some people say, injuries add up to running backs, and by a certain time after so many carries or so many nicks, and it just adds up and the body breaks down? Is that BS, or is that a legitimate factor depending on who you are?
I think it's different. I think it's not accurate. It's really how you recover, what you do on the off days, what you do after practice, as far as eating right, doing as much of treatment, and making sure the body's at as much of 100% as possible.
Steve Keim said on the morning on the radio that he used the word indecisive to describe your running style this year. Would you disagree with that, or?
Everyone has different opinions, so.
But he is the boss.
He is the boss. He is the boss of, Cliff, and Cliff is the head coach. He's the one who decides, who's playing. So.
Do you feel different about yourself at all, or do you feel like you're the same guy you've always been in terms of running the football?
I feel good.
What's your mindset like during a game when you're healthy and you can help? And I know you're a team player and you want to help out the team, but you're not able to get out there and help them out.
It's obviously tough.
What's your motivation?
Huh?
What's your motivation going to be?
Getting back on the field and, just, again, proving everyone wrong. I've been here before. It hasn't stopped me. Coming from Iowa, not big Iowa recruit, and, I've been here coming into the league, so nothing new.
Thanks, David. When you see your team against the Rams or the Seahawks or the 49ers, are you doing any judgment or measuring with your team compared to where those teams are, knowing that this is who you're mainly battling with the next few years?
We look at matchups, definitely. Their strengths, where we have to get better, things of that nature. But it's really week to week, just how we can be better as a football team. But I think every coach will look around their division and see, what we have to do to beat those teams.
Jordan Hicks was a big signing for you guys in the offseason. He leads the NFL in tackles. Has he been even better than you guys had hoped for?
He has, because of all the off-the-field pluses he brings. I mean, the locker room leadership, his approach to the game, his work ethic, leadership. I mean, it's been through the roof. And we knew he was a good player. We knew if he could stay healthy, we thought he'd have a really good year, and he's surpassed expectations, I'd say.
the offense is significantly better than it was a year ago. Obviously, you weren't here, but are you on pace to be where you want to be at this point in the season?
No, because we wanted to win more games, and that's what it comes down to. There's been times where I think we've been really effective offensively, but haven't done enough to win enough games, and that's the bottom line.
Were you really watching Newt Rockne film today?
No. No. I don't know. He's sharp, man.
Three running backs, you mentioned it Monday, but have you got a better sense of what you might do?
We will today. I mean, the game plan's in for the most part, so we'll start repping things, see what we like, what we don't like, and it's on us to try and find a way to get three guys the ball that are all very talented and deserving of touches.
Last year, Sean had mentioned in a press conference, Sean McVay had mentioned in a press conference that he'd reached out to you after Texas Tech to see if you might be interested in consulting with them and doing all that. How close were you to possibly taking a role there, and just how has that relationship with Sean evolved?
Very close. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job and phenomenal person, one of the brightest minds in football, and so to be able to learn under him and see how he operates day to day and be a part of that was definitely appealing. And like I said, I've known him a few years now, and just the way he handles himself and hasn't changed a bit with all the success, all the great things he has, and the way he treats people is first class, and I have a great appreciation for that.
How long have you known him? Like, how did that?
Yeah, I met him through a friend that actually played for him in the UFL, and it was crazy because he told me, he's like, this guy's going to be a star in coaching. I'm like, yeah, right. He was like tight ends coach for the Orlando Tuskers. I'm like, good luck, buddy. But, you know, he was right, and got to know him through him, and just you get around and you talk to the guy. I mean, he's phenomenal as a person, as a coach, and he can talk some football now.
Did you spend a lot of time with him when you were in LA for that month?
Not as much as I like. We talked, but not as much as I like. I mean, we were both busy, and he didn't have to recruit. I did, so that made it tough.
What was the offer?
Yeah, a consulting position. Yep. Yes.
How close were you? Where were you at? Were you
Close. Yeah.
in between jobs at the time? Or?
Yeah, the USC deal was really close to happening, and but you know that came up, and something I really had to take a hard look at.
Is that why you said you wouldn't be here without Sean?
Yeah, I wouldn't be here, but you know, I think his success that he's had, he gave a lot of young offensive coaches opportunities, and then I know people that had asked Sean about me, he spoke very highly of me.
In their offense this year? I apologize for interrupting.
Oh, go ahead.
What difference do you see in their offense this year in the Rams?
There's some personnel things, but I mean, they were operating at such a high level for 2 consecutive years that sometimes you have some ups and downs, and they'll get it rolling again. They have great coaches and great players, and it's football. At times you have some tough games.
When you were looking at those 2 offers, what did it come down to that you pushed you to USC instead of?
That's a longer answer, I think, than I wanted to get into right now. Yeah, I don't. So no, but they're both very appealing. Obviously, like I said, to learn under Sean would have been huge, and just didn't work out.
We've talked a lot this year about Kyler being on the quieter side, personality, and Patrick mentioned last month, Kyler emerging as the CEO of this team. In what ways have you seen maybe that development through the season, that maybe he's used his voice more than he did in September or August?
Just a comfort level. I think he's a guy who wants to know that he can trust you, and I think it was a completely new environment and had the whole world coming at him, and once he settled in and got around coaches, got around players, and he understood what this organization's about, and everybody's trying to make him the best player and best person he can be, that I think he started to open up a little bit more, and guys started to see that. And his preparation's been awesome. I mean, it's not easy. I can't say that enough, what he's taken on as a 22-year-old, being the face and the got to play good each and every week to give us a chance, and he's handled it well. And I think more than anything, his teammates see that he's willing to pay the price week in, week out to give us a chance to win on Sundays.
How does he handle that with a teammate who may, screwed up, not be in the place he once should be, and obviously Kyler knows that offense?
I mean, he wants things done right, but he also knows he's got a long way to go himself. It's not like we've hung any banners around him for him to really call people out to that extent yet. But he wants things done right, and he wants us all to get better, just like we all do.
We've seen him a couple times in the field get frustrated, it seems, when receivers run wrong routes or whatever. Do you have to talk to him about not maybe showing your frustration in the field, because a quarterback's body language and how he reacts is important?
We definitely do. We talk about body language and some of the greats, how they react, and what you see them don't do when you're talking about Brady and Wilson and guys who, you never know anything happening. They go to the sideline, they handle it over there. And his frustration is a good thing because he wants to be great, but at the same time, you got to respect your teammates, and that's something we'll continue to work on.
Since you know Sean pretty well, and obviously they're coming off a lopsided loss, what do you think's going through his head right now? Are you worried that you're getting angrier than usual? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I'm sure they wish they could have played, Tuesday morning. They're a prideful group. They were in the Super Bowl 10 months ago, and we'll get their best shot. We know that. They can play a lot better than that. They had an off night, and we expect to get their best shot, and we'll have to play our best game to hang in there.
Do you buy the notion that teams have kind of caught up to what he's doing offensively, or is it just
I don't, because I watch the stuff closely, and he evolves, and this year he's doing different things than he did last year, and they're an execution-based offense, and they have really good players, and so I don't buy that at all. It's the NFL. You're going to have bad games, and you're going to have teams that have good plans one week and win, and I think that's what they've run into a couple times.
How do you feel about the phrase "the next Sean McVay"? It was said about you, said about all these other coaches.
I mean, he earned that. I mean, the level that he came in and was winning at, and the things he was doing offensively, I mean, that's a compliment if you were getting that with what he's done so far in his career.
Watching the Ravens, and they've obviously really built everything around Lamar. Do you have a similar philosophy as Kyler grows to really try to accentuate?
I think that's what I've talked about since I got here. I mean, I think when I came in, there's a reason we changed terminology to some of the OU terminology, and we wanted to build this thing with what he did best. And I think you see that it took Baltimore a year to kind of figure that out. What does Lamar do the best, and what type of pieces do we bring in? And we're going to build this thing around Kyler that fits him the best, can maximize his talents as a quarterback. And you got to – I give a lot of credit to that organization and Harbaugh. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to go all in like they have with him, and they're reaping the rewards right now. He's playing at a phenomenal level.
Do you feel like you can see it yourself, or do you actually talk to Kyler from a person?
When Kyler will talk to me, I like to get that information out of him. But, yeah, I think for a 16-game sample size, I can get a good feel for who we can be around him and what he does best. And I do think we'll have great dialogue this offseason, and how do we need to adjust it, what do we need to tweak. And it's been an ongoing process week in and week out with that.
You had said, though, you didn't want Kyler to be like Lamar has been this year.
He's not built that way. Yeah, I mean, that's a big physical. You see him in person, and he's played that way his entire life. And the biggest thing with Lamar, just seeing his development as a passer and his accuracy and the progression, and the game has really, really slowed down for him. And if he pulls the ball, he's as dynamic as any runner there is in football. But I've been really impressed with all the naysayers, all the people talking about him all offseason. For him to step up and improve as a passer says a lot about him.
How much of the terminology did you change to OU's terminology to make him more comfortable?
Quite a bit, yeah.
Have you found a go-to technique to use with Kyler to prod something out of him?
I have not, but we're working through that.
What do you say about your kicker and punter, both who are having Pro Bowl type seasons?
It's been awesome. This guy's worked really hard. Andy's done it a long time, but to see Zane step up with his opportunity and be so solid, really excited and proud for him. But those guys, consummate professionals that show up, they work hard, they do everything right. It's been fun to see him have that success.
He's bounced back here for Zane for a lot of different reasons. How nice is that?
It's been great. Coach Rogers, when I got here, was like, I believe this guy can be special and be our guy for years to come, and he's proved it every step of the way.
You've known Kyler for a long time. Did you know it was going to be this tough communicating with him?
No, I knew how competitive he was, and that he just wants you to believe that, hey, whatever you call him, I'm going to make work, and that's part of his kind of aura and mystique, and I get that, and we'll continue to work through that, but we all want to get to the same place, and that's to make sure that we're doing things that allow him to play at the highest level possible.
I'm sure it's different sending text messages all the time and talking to him in person. I mean, how different was that for you to get used to?
Yeah, I mean, he's like I said, he's competitive. He's his own biggest critic. So I think more than anything, it's when we talk, it's making sure that, hey, we're still, even if you have a tough game or a bad play, these are things we're going to work through. And he wants to be perfect all the time, and you just got to sometimes talk him off the ledge when he's not.
So did you designate Jordan Mills as a candidate to return?
We did.
How's he doing physically, and is it possible that he either gets back in the right tackle mix or see more depth at this point?
We'll work through it the next couple weeks and see how he responds, but we're going to get him some more reps and see how he moves around and then make a decision from there.
Come back after this game, right?
I believe yes, I believe that's right. Right.
Alfred, what's his status? Do you expect him back this year at all?
Still out. Don't want to shut the door completely on it just yet, but won't be available this week.